It is written in the final book of the Bible. Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. For thousands of years, the Euphrates was the lifeblood of civilization. It was the border of the Garden of Eden. It was the cradle of Babylon. But today, look at it. NASA calls this a climate crisis. They talk about rainfall, dams, and agriculture. But theologians and scholars are looking at these same images and seeing something far more terrifying. They don't see a drought. They see a countdown. Because according to ancient prophecy, the drying of this river isn't just an environmental disaster. It is the removal of a barrier. A cosmic prison wall is coming down. And beneath the mud, beneath the history, something has been waiting. The Bible says 4 specific entities are bound there, not human, not ghosts, but angels, fallen, powerful, and dangerous enough that God Himself had to chain them in the depths. If the water is gone, are the chains still holding? In this video, we are digging into the forbidden history of the Euphrates. We will open the ancient book of Enoch to understand who these prisoners are, and we will play the chilling sounds recently recorded from the dried-up riverbed that have the internet terrified. Stay with me, because the prophecy of the 6th trumpet isn't coming. It might already be here. To understand the horror of what is coming, you must first understand the holiness of what was lost. The Euphrates is mentioned in Genesis 2:14. It was one of the 4 rivers flowing directly from the Garden of Eden. This water touched perfection. But after the fall of man, the location changed. It became the boundary line of the promised land given to Abraham. But spiritually, it became something else. It became a border between the visible world and the invisible abyss. The prophet Jeremiah was told to tie a stone to a scroll and throw it into the Euphrates to symbolize Babylon sinking, never to rise again. The river has always been a place of judgment, a place of burying things that should not return. Fast forward to 2024. The water levels have dropped to historic lows. Archaeological sites submerged for centuries are surfacing. A 3,400-year-old city emerged from the reservoir in Iraq. But while archaeologists are excited, the spiritual world is trembling. Revelation 16:12 tells us exactly why the river dries up. The 6th angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. We will talk about the kings of the east later. An army of 200 million that sounds impossible until you look at modern military sizes. But first we must confront the entities that this drying river releases. The entities mentioned in Revelation 9. Revelation 9:14 is precise. It does not say demons. It does not say spirits. It says the 4 angels. But these are not the angels you see in paintings. Holy angels are not bound. They are free to move between heaven and earth, executing God's will. If an angel is bound, it means it is a criminal in the eyes of heaven. These are high-ranking fallen angels. Think about that. Satan is allowed to roam the earth. Like a roaring lion, the Bible says, legions of demons are free to torment. But these 4? These 4 were so dangerous, so destructive, that God could not allow them to roam free. They had to be locked up. Why? What crime did they commit? To answer that, we cannot just look at the standard Sunday school lessons. We have to look at the texts that elaborate on the ancient world's darkest days. We have to look at the book of Enoch. While the book of Enoch is not part of the standard biblical canon, it is quoted in the Bible, in the book of Jude, and gives us the backstory of the Watchers. Enoch describes a group of 200 angels who rebelled against God, not just by pride, but by lust. They descended to earth, took human wives, and birthed a hybrid monstrosity known as the Nephilim. They taught humanity forbidden knowledge, sorcery, weaponry, cosmetics to seduce, and astrology. They corrupted the human bloodline. The chaos they unleashed was so absolute that God sent the flood to cleanse the earth. But what happened to the Watchers? Enoch tells us they were bound. Bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth till the day of their judgment. Are the 4 angels beneath the Euphrates part of this original group? Or are they generals of that rebellion? Leaders who were separated and placed in a specific maximum security prison beneath the river? The Bible commands the 6th trumpet angel, release them. This implies they have been waiting. They are not dead. They are aware, and they are angry. Revelation 9:15 says they were prepared for this hour and day and month and year to kill 1/3 of mankind. Let that sink in. They have a scheduled appointment with destiny, and the drying of the river is the alarm clock ringing. And now, things get disturbing in the physical realm. As the Euphrates dries up, locals and explorers have reported strange phenomena. Videos have gone viral claiming to capture groaning sounds coming from fissures in the dried riverbed. While skeptics say it's air escaping from underground caverns or tectonic movement, the locals are terrified. Imagine standing on the dry mud, knowing that beneath your feet, ancient entities are struggling against their chains. The Bible describes the abyss as a place of torment. Are we hearing the tectonic shifting of the earth? Or are we hearing the spiritual realm bleeding into the physical? But the sound isn't the only warning. The geography is changing. The drying river has revealed ancient caves that look suspiciously like prisons. Some carvings depict figures that look neither human nor animal. Are these warnings left by the ancients? Do not dig here? We are seeing a convergence. The physical sign, the drought, matches the spiritual prophecy, the drying, perfectly. When these 4 angels are released, the Bible says they lead or facilitate an army of 200 million horsemen. For centuries, critics mocked this number. The entire population of the world wasn't even 200 million when John wrote Revelation. Impossible, they said. Fantasy. But today, China alone boasts a standing army and reserve that could mobilize millions. Combined with the East, an army of 200 million is not just possible, it's plausible. The river was the natural barrier stopping the East from invading the West, Israel. With the river gone, the road is paved. The physical barrier is removed at the exact moment the spiritual barrier is broken. It is easy to look at the Euphrates, to hear about fallen angels and 200 million soldiers, and feel fear, panic. That is what the world does. But you are not called to fear. You are called to know. Jesus told us these things would happen. He didn't tell us so we would build bunkers. He told us so we would look up. In Luke 21:28, he says, "When these things begin to take place, stand up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near." The drying of the Euphrates is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the return of the King. The fallen angels have their hour and day, but God has eternity. Their time is short. His reign is forever. The question is not, when will the angels rise? The question is, where will you be standing when they do? Are you distracted by the world, or are you awake to the signs? The river is dry. The clock is ticking. The barrier is almost gone. Don't let this moment pass you by as just another news headline. If you want to stay ahead of the prophetic timeline and uncover the mysteries the mainstream media ignores, click that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications. We are building a community that watches, prays, and prepares. Leave a comment below. Do you think the sounds from the Euphrates are natural or supernatural? I'll see you in the comments.